And so I'm going to give you some facts from the daily reports. There is famine, dehydration, and sickness. Routinely, medical sources say that Israeli forces prevent ambulances from reaching the wounded until they are confirmed dead.
For the ECR, Rihad Scholes, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. From the ECR point of view, the two-state solution obviously is the only outcome for the conflict in the Middle East. But this said, the number one conditionality right now for a two-state solution is actually the release of the hostages. That's number one. There's no other way around. What we are actually doing right now is actually trying to find circumventions, actually ignoring the fact that actually the whole war is actually ongoing because of the still 80-plus hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza. This said, of course, the humanitarian dimension in Gaza is deteriorating. There's no denial in that. But then again, to accuse Israel of spreading intentional famine in Gaza would be to say a lie, at least. I don't recall that Gaza is an enclave surrounded by Israel. There's Egypt. There's a sea access as well to Gaza Strip. So to say that Israel is intentionally committing genocide through starvation is not true. So here I would like to ask Mr. Koopman how actually the European Commission is engaging with Egypt. That is also part of the two-state solution, the concept, the format that has been created in 2024. And more broadly, how the Arab countries are actually involved in facilitating two-state solution. Because the two-state solution in the end is the issue for Israel to recognize Palestine and for Palestine to recognize Israel. But it's not the case when Gaza is run by Hamas, terrorist organization, in whose charter is actually abolishment of State of Israel. So the problem is there are more, I would say, in the UN, there are more countries that recognize Palestine than recognize East Timor. East Timor is already a legitimate player on the international arena. So that's not the case about who recognizes what. But a two-state solution is the two bodies to recognize each other. And how do you see that two parties to actually engage with each other? Is there any format for that? Thank you.
The hostage release is absolutely necessary, I say, in direction of Mr. Rihas, if I say this correctly, of the ECR. But the spreading famine is not a lie. It is a recorded fact by all the agencies that are active on the ground. And yes, Egypt also has a land border, but it's closed. And that is also, at least as far as the trucks are concerned, that the trucks by Israel are only allowed to go in, even from Egypt. And I was at the Egypt side of the Rafah crossing of the Gaza border a few weeks ago. They are not allowed to go in. They have to first go to Israel. That is obstructing and blocking and saying no to this type of food, no to that type of food. There is clear obstruction. And this is not just me saying it. This is the UN reports, all the agencies' reports. And now this is actually also said by some, by many others. Now, we as the EU collectively, and I'm certainly not taking credit for that, but we are a very big humanitarian donor. It is very important. We need to work with all other donors, but in the end, it is Israel's responsibility under international law to also provide that humanitarian aid, not to let just people from Finland or Romania contribute to it, but also itself to actually do it. And that is a responsibility that we all have. Ms. Foutman.